channel. So today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial. It is going to be on this look right here, but it is going to be using all indie makeup brands and products. Well, most of them. I think there's like one or two things that I will mention that are not indie related. But I found myself a couple weeks ago going through some of my makeup and I'm like, dang, this product's so good. Dang, that product's really good. All of them ended up being like indie brands. And when I mean indie brands, I mean mostly like online based, Instagram based makeup brands. Makeup brands that are coming out with some hot fire products that maybe you guys or people you know are totally sleeping on. Some of my favorite holy grail must have items come from these indie brands. These are brands and products that I truly believe in, really enjoy the company or the brand or the specific product. So I just thought it would be cool to kind of share with you guys some of the products that are out there that maybe you haven't heard of, maybe some products that you want a little bit more information on or see how they work. I just thought that this video would be both informative and entertaining. So I'm not going to ramble on anymore. So let's just go ahead and get started with the tutorial. So we're just going to get started. As always, I'm going to do my eyes first and then move on to my face. So for my eyeshadow base, I know I've talked about this product before. You guys have seen me use it before, and this is one of those products that's not really an indie brand, but I don't hear many people talking about it, so I do want to re-emphasize how awesome it is. This is the Ingla Eye Makeup Base in the shade 01. I think it only comes in one shade. But you guys can see how much of this I've actually used in this product. I really like the way this goes onto the eye. It's a little bit more dry than like the MAC Painterly Paint Pot or Soft Ochre Paint Pot. And when you're done blending it out, it kind of leaves this just like very soft kind of feeling on the eye, all one shade. It really holds onto eye makeup really well. One of my favorite brushes to apply that on is this one here. This is from the Pretty Bar LLC. So I'm just going to take that on the eye. As you can see, it's very pigmented, but it's not hard to blend out the product or anything like that. And then I'm going to go back in on this eye. I do have a coupon code for the Pretty Bar if you want to purchase any of these sets. I will show you some other brushes that they do carry, but they come in sets. So you have the face set, the eye set. I'll list everyone as I show you, but if you guys are curious, this is from the face set, and the coupon code that I have works on any brush set. So for my eyeshadow, I'm going to be using palettes from two different brands, from two brands that are truly indie brands that I hear people talking about, and there is some hype to them, but not enough hype for how good these products are. The first set of palettes that I'm going to use is from Studio Makeup. These are the On The Go makeup palettes. 1 month I got this one right here, which is more neutrally warm tone, and then the next month I got this one more kind of cool tone kind of look. I think I'm gonna go for a little bit more like mauve cool tone type of look. The pigmentation on this one is very consistent. Sometimes you have the issue where like the shimmers are a little bit more pigmented than the mattes, but not with these. The pigmentation is very consistent. They're very pigmented. They last a good amount of time. Then for a little bit more color and shimmer, I'm gonna be using the Masquerade palette from Juvia's Place. So it's this big guy right here. And look at the size of those eyeshadows. Like, they are not joking with this eyeshadow palette. And as you can see, it's very colorful, just a wide array of tones. But what I like about this palette is that you can still create looks with this because the colors go together. It's consistent throughout the palette. The color really lasts all day, and I really love this eyeshadow formula. I have honestly no idea what kind of makeup look I'm gonna do. We're just kind of gonna go in with it. So I'm going to take a brush from the Pretty Bar LLC. It's part of their eye set. I'm going to take this shadow one right here, and then I'm going to dip into this palette and go into this shade right here. It's just this nice kind of white shimmery shade, and I'm going to use that to highlight my brow bones. You guys can see that it is shimmery. It's icy, it's nice and pigmented. So these eyeshadows are great. I'm going to go back into the palette. I'm going to take this taupey kind of gray shade right there, and I'm going to take the Pretty Bar LLC blending brush, and I'm just going to work that back and forth, windshield wiper motions into the crease area, just back and forth like I always do. I'm going to go into the Juvia's Place palette, and I'm going to take a little bit of this pink shade right here. This is the shade Zubu or Zobu. So I'm going to take a little bit of that there. I'm going to take a smaller blending brush. This is a Sigma Tapered E35. This is part of the like indie brand collection. I just need a brush that I know is going to do the job. So I'm going to go with this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to really kind of focus it on the crease a little bit right here, just to give it a little bit of color. Now I'm going to go back into that palette and I'm going to take this darker kind of raspberry shade. I'm going to take that on the blending brush from the Pretty Bar LLC, and I'm really going to focus that onto the crease area to blending these two colors, and then really work it on the outer V of the eye to give it kind of more of that purpley, smoky kind of mauve-y look. Alright, once you've done blending your life away, I'm going to go back into this palette, and then I'm going to take this shade right here just so it's not so dark on the eye, and I'm going to take that on my Pretty Bar LLC shadow brush. I'm just going to wet my brush a little bit, and I'm just going to work this all the way up into where that kind of purple kind of meets up here, and almost create like a cut crease in this front part, and then stop about 2/3 of the way in right there. So I'm just going to take this all over up until here, and then up until where this line meets the crease right there. Like that. Then I'm going to take my blending brush and go back into this darker shade right here, just a little bit, so we can darken up this outer part right here. Darken this up, and then just really kind of dig it into that crease a little bit, so we keep kind of that like separation between the transition shade up here, the crease, and then this darker part on the outer third. So I'm just going to keep this right out here and in the crease. And then just to make sure everything is nice and blended, I'm going to go back in with that big blending brush and just run it over this top part right here. So like that. So we are done with the eye look. I did have some glitter fall out over here, so I just took a makeup remover wipe and wiped that off. So now I'm going to tightline my eyes, since it is kind of more of a smokier, darker kind of look. I like to tightline my eyes and really kind of make it dark up there. And I'm going to use this one. This I also got in my BoxyCharm. This is from the brand Lord and Berry. I had never heard of it, and I haven't tried any other products besides this one, but I really like this one. It's very black, as you can see right there. Doesn't tug, very smooth. It just glides on nicely, so I really like this eye pencil. I've been using it a ton since I've gotten it. And then to do my eyeliner at the top, I'm going to use this one from Starlooks Pro. This is the Luxe Longwear eyeliner pen, and this is a felt tip pen. It looks just like this, but this is another really good one. It's very pigmented. You can see right there, one swipe, very pigmented, very black, very dark, and it does dry down matte, and it lasts a very long time on the eyes. So moving on to the face, I'm going to take this Temp 2 Liquid Glow. You guys have heard me talk about this. You guys have seen me use this. And I'm just going to dab it on my face. I like to add 2 little drops on the cheeks and then just 1 drop up here. And I just like how it kind of gives it a little bit more luminosity. It makes it look healthy, glowy, like smooth and plump without it looking too reflective, too radiant or anything like that. And I like to blend it out with a flat top kabuki. This is the Pretty Bar LLC's flat top kabuki. It works great for foundation, and you know, as you can see, just perfectly blending everything out. So then I just like to blend it out on the high points where I usually put my highlighter, and around my cheeks, since this area doesn't really get oily, but this center area does. So I don't put it onto the parts where I get oily. I just put it onto the parts that I want to look a little bit more radiant, a little bit more plump, or the biggest parts of my face, which happens to be my cheeks, and then a little bit on top of my forehead here. All right, so moving on to foundation. Again, these are going to be products that are mostly indie brands that not a lot of people talk about, but that doesn't mean people haven't talked about these two before. These are 2 of my favorite foundations. I'm going to mix both of these. This is the Frankie Rose Matte Perfection Foundation. It's a beautiful foundation all on its own matte, but it doesn't feel cakey. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look dry on the skin. It just looks very satiny, very soft. This is a little bit too light for me right now, so I'm going to mix it in with the EX1 Invisiwear Foundation. This is more of a demi-matte satin foundation. It's a little bit more on the dewier side of the matte foundations, but it's not so dewy or it makes you look oily or greasy. It's a beautiful foundation on its own. It has really good coverage as well. So I'm gonna mix these 2 just to get a pretty good shade and a pretty good base. This is the Makeup Perfecting Sponge from Pinky Rose Cosmetics. It's like so squishy, so bouncy. It blows up really nicely. It has a flat side here, which is great to like kind of just just clean up the under eye, or if you really want to bake and stuff. And literally this gives the Beauty Blender a run for its money. And I think this is $6, $8 maybe. It's definitely cheaper than the Beauty Blender and I love it. And then just blend everything out. So for concealer, I'm going to use another product from Frankie Rose, the Our Little Secret Concealer. This is in the shade Fresh C102. This is a really good concealer as well. It's a very liquidy concealer. It reminds me so much of the Urban Decay Naked Skin concealer because it's so lightweight, so watery, but it packs a punch and it really does cover a lot of the imperfections that you have in your under eye area. And because I did get it a shade lighter, it is going to brighten as well. I'm just going to add some here. And then Cupid's bow, my chin, and down the bridge of my nose. And like I said, you're getting a lot of concealer. Like this was one application and look how much concealer came out. So it's a really good one. While we bake, I'm going to go back into these palettes and I'm going to smoke out my lower lash line. I'm going to take the shadow right here and then just work it on my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take this Lord & Berry eyeliner and then I'm going to run it on my waterline. I always make the most attractive faces when I'm working my waterline and lower lash line. I'm going to take a face powder brush from the Pretty Bar LLC. This does come in the face set, and I'm just going to dust off all of this powder. For powder, I used the NYC translucent powder. It wasn't a new one or like an indie brand one, but that's just the one I decided to use for today. Then for mascara for my lower lashes, this is the same mascara that I used before I applied my lashes at top. This is from the brand Galani or Galani. It looks just like this. This is just their First Class Lash Private Jet Black Mascara. But I really like the way that it really separates my lashes for sure. Just to finish up the eyes, I'm going to go back into the Masquerade palette from Juvia's Place. I'm going to go into this shadow right here. This is Giza. I'm going to take my eyeshadow brush from the Pretty Bar and work this into the inner tear ducts. For my contour and bronze today, I'm going to use this palette from IBY Beauty. I'm using this a lot this past couple of months. You can see that it's like super beaten up. I did get this in my BoxyCharm, and since I got it, I've been really in love with it. I'm going to mix these two shades to bronze my face, and then this top third one right there to contour a little bit in the hollows of my cheeks. This has a really good formula of powders. The powders are smooth, they're lightweight, they feel airy on the skin, and they don't weigh it down, but they also pack a punch, and they're very pigmented, easy to blend out. And moving on to blush, I'm going to be using this one. This is in the shade Wildflower, and it is from the brand Studio Makeup. It's the same brand that does the eyeshadows that we used today, and it's this color right there. Beautiful kind of burnt rosy tone. This powder blends out really nicely. It just gives a nice amount of color to the cheeks, and it's not so overly pigmented, and it's really smooth. So I'm going to take the angled brush from the Pretty Bar LLC. One of my favorite angled brushes ever. I don't really like angled brushes, but I love this one to bronze, to contour, and to apply blush. So I'm going to take some and then just work it onto the cheeks. Almost done. Moving on to highlight. For my highlighter today, I'm going to use this one from Galactic. This is the Face Glow. This is in the shade Luster. Looks just like this. It's a really beautiful pearly pink kind of tone. It's so pigmented, so buttery smooth. Yep. You can see that right there. It's very smooth and it doesn't emphasize texture. Galactic's highlighters are one of my favorite highlighters of life. So this is a fan brush from So Susan. I got this in my BoxyCharm as well, and this one's a really good one to apply highlighter, especially like this. That on my cheekbone. Wow. And you can see that right there. That is a highlight. And then I always like to take my sponge and just kind of dab over it a little bit to kind of blend it into the skin. I'll add a little bit more, and then I'll go in with my blush brush if I dragged it down too much and just kind of stamp over it so it's just really nicely blended with everything else. For my lips today, I'm going to be using the matte lip paint from Galactic Beauty. They also have amazing liquid lipsticks, lightweight on the lips. They don't seep into the fine lines. They last an incredible hella long time. They're not drying on the lips at all. So this is the final look. I'm gonna go do my hair quick and then I will be right back. All right, sorry guys, I just had to do my hair quick because it was all over the place and I'm like, you can't be showing up on camera like that. Like, come on girl. Get it together. This is the final look. I really hope you guys learned something. There was a blending technique or some brands that you guys are totally sleeping on that maybe you should check out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff is going to be linked down below for you guys, as well as coupon codes to help you save some money. And like I said, I will be listing every single one of these products down below for you guys. Before you head out, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.